Yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
Yes. We are back inside the three-point conversion sports lounge. Mr. Controversy here. Did you miss me? Another great Saturday morning. Great Saturday morning to talk sports. It's cool outside. Playoffs are in the air. National championship. Man. Drama in the NBA, drama in UGA. There's so much going on right now, y'all. I'm telling you, need to embrace this. Bittersweet, though, because like I stated, it's the NFL playoffs. Love the NFL playoffs, but just the fact that football is about to end, kind of sucks. But when your team is in the playoffs, I guess it helps you out. And this is the first time my team is in the playoffs in about 38 years, so shout out to them Chicago Bears. But anyway, like I said earlier, you have entered inside the three-point conversion sports lounge. And you should get prepared for another great show. And as always, I have my engineer with me, G. What up, G?
Yo.
That's him all the time. That's all you're going to get. And we had to go to the bullpen once again. Shout out to D Intellectual. Still taking care of business. But I got my man who comes in to take care of business. H.O. What up, H?
What up? I see you got your Bears gear on. The playoffs is about to start in the NFL. We got a national championship game on Monday, which is round 3. So, you got to ask yourself, if we go to 8, or see, we just go back to 2. It's the same 2 teams. It seems like every year.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? So, it's a question that you really got to ask yourself. Because if Notre Dame go lay an egg like they did, and this is what we're getting from all the other teams like Georgia and probably Michigan and things of that nature, if this is what we're going to get in 8, we might as well just go ahead and just drop it down to 2.
Yeah, do it like old school.
Yeah, just drop it back down to 2 because Alabama done been in the championship every year since the playoffs.
Can't anybody stop them? And
Clemson 3 years, and then Georgia 1.
Yep.
So it's ACC, SEC.
But is that because they're playing the same teams? And that might be. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
We can keep going.
But it's something to think about.
It is.
It's something to think about. If we going to go to 8, are we going to 8 to keep players from going to the NFL early?
Yeah, right. Have them playing the game.
Exactly,
Hey, that might be the reason to do it, so the bowl games can matter. But anyway, we got so much to talk about. As he mentioned, of course, the national championship game, Alabama, Clemson. This is see who wins the best out of, 11? What it seemed like, man.
It seemed like it, yeah.
Also, Justin Fields says he is transferring to Ohio State. As a matter of fact, he was on campus yesterday, so we got to talk about that. Also, it's the NFL playoffs, man. Like I mentioned, 4 huge games, some great games are on the way. It's not one of those games where you know how the Houston-Cincinnati game used to be. It's like, first of all, it seems like Houston plays every year on Saturday, the first game on Saturday for the playoffs. And that game was boring. You can probably take the Wi-Fi, go out to eat, come back third quarter, get ready for the last game.
Right.
They still got the high school playoffs going on Friday.
Yeah,
it seems like
true.
those playoffs go into January.
Friday night lights.
Yeah, Friday night lights.
There's no college games on Saturday.
You can watch that.
Let's put the NFL game on Saturday.
Right.
Exactly. Keep the momentum going.
Right. And then we're going to talk about this young man with this big beard, long beard. Not me, but James Harden. James Harden exploded against the Golden State Warriors. And we're going to talk about his progression. But not only that, how many other players can carry a team on their back? We got Dr. Fowler coming in for Ask a Doc, that segment, and Stop It. What's on my mind? Quick hits. So much to talk about.
Season superlatives.
Oh, it's look. The awards, yeah, we got the awards going on, man. I know there's going to be some disagreement from the NFL awards. You know, we're going to give our awards out. But you can call in at 404-603-8770 and make sure you check out the show on 1100 AM WWWE locally in Atlanta. Also, you can go to iHeartRadio and check us out as well. Go to 1100 AM WWWE, TuneIn Radio, Radio Now, and also we're live on Facebook, the 3 Point Conversion Facebook page. So check us out. But it is time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it. Shout out to Sharon Beats for the sick beats. And congrats to Sharon Beats, who had a baby girl 2 weeks ago. So I think it was 2 weeks ago. Anyway, congrats, Sharon. All right, so first we're going to start off with the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I mentioned Justin Fields, which we'll get into that later on. But 4 other players decided they don't want to stay at Georgia anymore. Not just because they don't like Georgia, but because they're trying to get that money going to the NFL draft. And that's Georgia running back Elijah Holyfield, tight end Isaac Nata.
Yep.
Wide receiver McCole Hartman, and wide receiver Riley Ridley. They're all entering the NFL draft. I guess my question is this when because we saw 2 running backs leave, but Georgia always had running backs. And they had he came from Alabama. I'm thinking the other Ridley. But I was going to ask you, this is when they want to compete with Alabama. Alabama, when they leave, they just reload.
Right.
Do Georgia have enough to reload?
But see, this is the thing. So this is another caveat in Kirby trying to be this great coach like Nick. Okay, we got to get the first year is we got to get recruiting. The second year is we got to get depth. The third year is now how do I adjust to my good players leaving early?
Right.
So now the depth that you have you developed that depth? Have you developed it to the point where they can just step right in? Because you're losing 2 of your 3 best receivers. You're losing, 1 of your 2 best running backs. And not to even talk about, but Justin Fields leaves as well. So they losing 5 players.
Right.
4 of them was, key to this season. But this is another caveat that you have to deal with. When the players decide to leave, how do you respond and reload? And that is the question that we'll see next year.
Yeah, we're going to see. I want to see how they respond to this. Moving on. Man, talk about drama. So there are reports that says Jimmy Butler aggressively challenged the Philadelphia 76ers coach, Brett Brown, about his role in the offense. I've taken up for Jimmy for a lot of reasons. And you think about it, the way it transpired in Chicago, hey, I'm with Jimmy. I feel him. Minnesota, I kind of understood. But now this, I don't know, Jimmy. Maybe this is a trail. Maybe this is you.
He's the Antonio Brown of basketball.
Right.
It just seems as if
right. Good point.
They just don't get enough attention.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I mean, what do they call it? Attention.
Whores.
Yes.
That.
No.
It's like it's never enough. It's not if you are the best player, if you are the best this, what are you mad about?
Right.
And it just seems like maybe the commonality is I'm coming from a small school. I worked my way up, so now I should be what? I mean, I don't understand it. It just seems like that, the aggression and we understand that you worked hard. We understand that you worked yourself to a max deal. But at this particular point, this is your third team. It doesn't look good for you to keep switching teams and having to go through the same thing on each team.
No, I agree, man. And like I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but it's not good. Moving on. Former D lineman Jared Allen, quarterback Mark Bolger, linebacker Keith Bullock, and O lineman Michael Ruse are attempting to compete for the curling event in the 2022 Winter Olympics. All of these players were former Pro Bowls, but man, that's cool, isn't it? To get all football players to say let's do this.
A curling event. Wow. This is now I would say one thing. Jared Allen is one of the few players who has gotten all his money from his contract.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty much what I got to say about this, but I'm glad to see former athletes, former pros get into the Olympics somehow. So
right.
Got to be proud of that.
Moving on. The Arizona Wildcats football team hires, you remember a certain player named DeMarco Murray?
Yep.
Played 7 years in the NFL.
G remember him.
Remember him. Yeah, right. So the Arizona Wildcats decided to hire him as an assistant. Kudos to my man Murray. I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good look. Hopefully he can help them out.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I think this is his first time coaching too.
Yeah, and that's the cool part about it.
That's his first time coaching, so he'll be out there with Kevin Sumlin, trying to get things together and work that situation. So, you got Arizona, Kevin Sumlin, and then you got Herm Edwards in Arizona State. You bring in DeMarco Murray. Hey, you can't go wrong. Well, the question will be, will DeMarco Murray leave to go back to Oklahoma pretty soon?
Right.
And that's going to be a question because it's like a starting.
You already know how that go.
You know what I'm saying?
It happens like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
So we'll see. Keep your eye on that.
Speaking of leaving to go somewhere else, so I don't know if you all know that Steve Alford for the UCLA, the coach of the UCLA, former coach, he got fired 4 days ago, right? He went on, I think, like a 3 or 4 game losing streak. Well, the boosters at UCLA want to hire Rick Pitino as their new next coach.
They trying to stay relevant.
They are.
They trying to stay relevant.
Because you know why? Because of what happened with the UCLA incident with was it not LaMelo Ball, but it was the other one. No, it was LaMelo. Melo Ball, yeah. Because what's the other name? LiAngelo. Right.
Well, yeah.
It's one of them. They
Melo is the middle kid.
Yeah, so Melo, and then the other players.
Jello is the one who was stealing.
Okay, Jello.
Melo
Man,
is
I
the
can't.
youngest.
Okay, I can't keep up with all these balls.
We gonna pause on that, but either or.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's like
so. Jello is the one who probably is not a pro prospect.
Not probably.
I was just trying to give him a break.
Anyway, they want Rick Pitino. I think that's cool. I think not cool. I'm sorry. I think it's cool that they want him, but how would that look on the school? In fact, you get somebody. What you think about what Rick Pitino has done was following him,
right?
And now you at a big school like that with so much history. I don't think that works.
I think what Lonzo Ball gave Earl Watson the thumbs up. You still got Cam Dollar, who went to UCLA. Still got Ty Etney, who also went to UCLA.
UCLA sure they want to do this? Like, let's just get a former player.
That's what I'm saying. So because
we've never seen coach before. Earl Watson has coached before, but
Cam Dollar's on the
Ty Etney anywhere.
Cam Dollar's on the bench at Washington, I think, assistant coach. So he knows the Pac-12. He's played there. So, my thing is they need to kind of let some of this stuff fly over. All this heat that they've been getting. I don't know if bringing in Rick Pitino is an outside guy is one of the best moves that they can make.
Yeah,
so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't think it looks good for the school.
Right.
And last but not least, the Washington Nationals are reportedly talking to Bryce Harper again. Not surprised by that. $300 million is a lot. He played there his whole career. So, I mean, it's really not that much to say about it, that's what it is.
Why not talk to him? He used to play. I mean, he played for him last year. You already turned him down.
Right.
Or he turned y'all down. So
might as well. So, it's whatever.
I still think he ends up in L.A.
Yeah, we'll see. Him or Machado, either or.
Yep.
But look, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Big up, I'm Rick King, and this is your sports news break. Talk about embarrassing losses. The Atlanta Hawks got blown out by the Milwaukee Bucks 144-112. Trae Young recorded a double-double with 13 points and 10 dimes. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets men basketball starts conference play today against Wake Forest Deacon Demons at home. The Yellow Jackets are 8-5 this season. The 10-4 Georgia State Panthers travel to Texas to play the Bobcats in conference play. There are 2 wild-card games today. Houston Texans are playing the Indianapolis Colts, and the Dallas Cowboys are hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Make sure to follow the 3-point conversion for exclusive Super Bowl coverage and all your major sports news and updates. It's where fans' opinions matter.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
What's up? This is Chris Tucker for the 3-point conversion. Let's go.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. I'm your host, Mr. Controversy, with my main man, H.O. In this next segment, the hot topic is brought to you by Cindy Cuts Barbershop, located on 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Cindy Cuts Barbershop, great barbershop. Love the barbershop. You will love it too. Hey, I'm just being real. Everyone can cut in there. Most of them can talk sports. People, everybody talk. Everybody talk. Politics, unity, community, all of that good stuff, man. Make sure you check out Dwayne Chambers. Once you get in, go all the way down. The last person on the left. Make sure you check him out.
I think somebody asked me one time, what's the hours of operation? Like the days of the week. Because I think they was looking for a haircut on Sunday or something.
Yeah, they open on Sundays. I get my hair cut early. Sometimes I'll be there 4:30 in the morning. Okay. I just go in there. Just make an appointment. Okay. Talk to somebody. And you can follow Dwayne Chambers on Instagram at Simha the Barber. That's SIMHATHEBARBER. Shout out to my main man, Sean. What up, Sean? Check him out as well. Sean is a beast on the Instagram. All right. So, the hot topic for today, we're talking NBA basketball. And the reason why we brought this up as a hot topic is, first of all, if you all didn't see the highlights, at least the highlights, or read about it, what people don't read anymore, watch some type of video or something. What James Harden did against the Golden State Warriors by himself was amazing. Amazing. What did he score? 44? Was it 44 points? 15 assists? I think he had 10 rebounds. All by himself. And they were down by
10 threes.
and made 10 threes, right, and they were down by 20 and brought them back single-handedly. I want to ask y'all, first of all, is Harden now, because and when you talk top 5 in NBA, it was always LeBron, not in order, LeBron, Steph, Kevin Durant, AD, and I don't know, it depends on who you want. Maybe Kawhi, maybe Westbrook or something like that. Giannis. Can we say that Harden is top 5 now? Or he's been top 5? We just don't want to give him credit because he doesn't play defense sometimes.
Well, it's hard to put him in the top 5, but only for me because he is painful to watch.
Why?
Well, I've covered someone, and I agree with this nickname. He is the tax attorney of the NBA, in which he's just trying to exploit all the loopholes with the setbacks and the drawing the fouls. Like, it's not pretty.
Yeah. He's not top 5 for me because I think we get caught up in the moment a lot of times. He's had streaks and did things like this before, but we've seen him flame out in playoffs. I mean, big time. Even going back to OKC, flamed out in that series. Flamed out when Houston went even last year and the year before that. So I think we get caught in these moments to where he gets on these streaks and we get so caught up in it that we want to put him here, we want to put him here. But then when you look at the guys on the list, it's like,
let's
Durant,
be real,
James, Leonard, AD, Steph. I'm like, then we talking about Giannis and Westbrook.
So let me ask you this about Steph. So what makes Steph better than Harden?
Got 3 rings.
And he played, he played with 8 future Hall of Famers.
But he's the reason why he is the reason why that offense flows.
Draymond is the reason why that offense flows.
There's a stat that shows when Steph is in the game, how other players on his team numbers go up. When he does not play, they all go down.
When he's not on the court.
When he's not on the court or not in the game. So to me, that is the reason why they are able to win. They won a championship without Kevin Durant before.
Right. And they still had Klay Thompson
and
Draymond Green.
And he makes Klay. Now, he makes Draymond.
But let me ask you, so how many All-Stars has James Harden played with since he's been in Houston? None. My point is.
One.
Who?
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard didn't make the All-Star team that year, did he?
His first year in Houston,
he did? That was a travesty. But but I'm just saying, when you think about it, James Harden, he doesn't have that luxury. And I'm not taking anything away from Steph, but you think about it, Steph shoot threes, he can get to the hole, right?
He's changed the game of basketball, but yeah.
Yeah, he's changed the game of basketball, but because he can shoot. But Harden is not a better shooter than Curry, I know that. But if I need a three-pointer,
that's in the wrong, category.
No, I'm saying if I need a three-pointer after Curry, I might take Harden. I don't think it might be 3 other players.
You just said Klay.
It might be. No, I'm saying it might be 3 other players before Harden.
Okay.
So it's not like he's behind. But getting to the hole, who is the hardest person to guard in the NBA? It's James Harden.
The tax attorney.
James Harden.
I would say Kyrie before James as far as one-on-one getting to the hole.
I still hadn't seen anybody.
Well, Kyrie can create space, but James Harden will find a way to get points.
He'll find a way to get a foul. You mean
to get a foul?
Yeah.
But that's offense. I mean, it's not like he.
I'm not taking nothing away from
I'm just saying when you look at Steph and James average more assists than Steph. He's Steph get a lot of rebounds, but I would take Harden with the rebound. But again, one-on-one, if you just saying one-on-one, no screens, no nothing, James Harden.
That's not how you play basketball, though.
But I'm just saying he's a better player than Stephen Curry. We give Stephen Curry the credit because he shoot threes. He's glorified a three, and he's changed the game because not everybody want to shoot threes like him. But when you saying just offensively, he's better. But either or, whatever. But you're taking my time. I'm just saying. But James Harden, you say he's not top 5. Okay, I'll say that. I think he's top 5.
Right.
But we do know one thing. James Harden can carry a team on his back. Now, they might not get to the finals. He might, when he gets there, he might need help. That's when it become real heavy. But he's carried a team throughout the playoffs. We've seen him go to the Western Conference without anyone before. We've seen it. So now I want to switch to, I was watching AD the same night or the night before. AD as an Anthony Davis had a monster game. I think he had 36 points, 34 points, 35 points, 26 rebounds, 3 blocks. Ridiculous. They lost.
Mm-hmm.
You said AD is a top 5 player. AD is my dude. I rocks with him.
Right.
But when you look at AD, if he's that good, why are they losing? But not only that, they have talent around AD.
Like who?
They don't have enough.
Like who?
Yeah, I'm asking. I mean,
Drew Holiday.
Oh, okay.
Julius Randle.
Okay.
We can stop with that. Just them two right there. With his talent, I'm saying, they should be able. Then you got other pieces that you plug in that are nice.
That's the thing, though. They don't have, beyond those guys, they don't have enough. Like these other teams, they have the right piece around the right role players.
But do they have enough? But I'm saying
New Orleans doesn't.
They don't. But they have enough to where they shouldn't be almost last place in the Western Conference.
Well, Houston was almost last 3 weeks ago.
And what's going on now?
Yeah, so we got to wait.
Harden has stepped up, and not only that,
and he go flame out again.
When do you ever see Harden flame out though?
What was they shoot?
Game 7.
I mean, I'm talking about in regular season.
Regular season really don't count. Why do we play the game?
So you're proving my point even more. Then
why do we play the game?
So you're proving
win.
my point even more. So why you look at James Harden? You look at Harden, and this ain't even about Harden right now. I'm talking about AD. But if you look at Harden's roster, even without Paul, you match it up with New Orleans. I'll take New Orleans roster all day.
But just like G said, it's the role players are set for how Houston plays. So the names may not matter, but the continuity and the chemistry and how they play fits Houston's better. So that's why they win. So there is no continuity or anything with New Orleans.
So going back to AD and talking about carrying the team and leadership. If you look at that, that's where you see that AD is not, he's just not a leader.
Didn't he carry their team last year in the playoffs?
No, Rondo did.
I mean,
Rondo
was
did
a part. He was a part of the team.
Rondo did that.
Having Rondo helped,
and Drew Holiday
could play
off the ball, right?
Play off the ball, and that helped them defensively, and that's why they were able to sweep Portland. But Rondo's gone now, so that's a piece that's gone away.
So my point is, I want to get y'all see what y'all think about this. Y'all opinion. Now, like I said, I thought about it. I was like, so AD can't carry. I don't think AD can carry a team. He's just not built for that. Mm-hmm. And people say, oh, what about college? College is different. I mean, think about the players that carried teams to a national championship in college, and look where they are in the NBA. So now, forget AD, because we say, I don't think he carried a team. How many other players in the NBA do you think can carry a team?
Other than
LeBron James, James Harden, Westbrook. Right now, this year, I say Giannis. Giannis is showing it. He's doing
Giannis. I would say Kawhi.
And Kawhi. And that's it. Other than that, who else?
I mean, I would.
You could say Jokic, maybe.
I mean, that's you can argue
valid,
that. You can argue that.
We see,
I mean, my thing is, and I guess I'm going back to the Steph thing, regardless if he plays with, they weren't that coming in, you weren't checking for them like that. You didn't know Draymond was going to be an all-star.
Right.
You didn't know Clay was a defensive player coming into.
He was a scorer. He was more of a scorer than a defensive player.
But at his dad and obviously at Washington State, this is what they known for, that defense of mindset. You knew he could score, but I think what's the coach at Virginia runs the same offense as
Tony Bennett.
Right. They run that defense, and that's what it was known for until you got with somebody who gets you open shots and things of that nature.
From the chat here, Smitty says, "What about Lillard carrying the team?"
Can you? Can we get it?
Stop it.
Thank you. Come on, Smitty.
Hey, look, I'm with you, Smitty, on that. I think Lillard opens things up for.
But I don't think he can carry it.
But my thing is,
go ahead.
Streets carrying the team. I mean, think about look at how they played Golden State a year, not last year, but year before that. They gave them a run. I mean, it was Lillard who's pretty much was that guy.
I think he can only do it up to a certain point.
Yeah, and I think that's for anybody because we always talk about.
I'll take that back because. Yeah, I'm sorry. I take that back because, in a sense, he's right. Like I said, because AD can't. We're not saying AD do it. Lillard has picked that team up and said, okay, because they hadn't had talent, they went to the playoffs. So my bad, Smitty. I give you that.
But my thing is just like to me, Harden had to get into a certain system and situation to where he had to learn how to do it, because in OKC. He was a third wheel.
Right, so you can't say he had to learn. I think they
was
smart and built it around him.
But that's the same thing someone has to do with Anthony Davis. We hadn't seen it.
But they doing that. They tried. What I'm saying is he has a talent to where they should be better than what they're doing now.
Maybe it's coaching.
You still should rise up above that. Y'all still should get to the playoffs without coaching.
I bet you they get to the playoffs.
Michael Jordan had horrible players around him. They got to the playoffs with bad coaching. But, Ewing, they've got to the playoffs. Like, he should be able to.
Jackson is not a bad coach.
No, before we had Kevin Lockery. Horrible coach.
Doug Collins.
I like Doug, but he wasn't there yet. But I'm just saying.
He was a heck of a coach, though.
But before, with Kevin Lockery, they was getting to the playoffs. But I'm saying.
Flaming out, though.
Right. But he can only get you so far. But I'm just saying, AD is not. Why are they losing with the talent that they have? That's all I'm saying. Mirotic, y'all can't tell me they don't have enough talent.
But this is my thing. This is where it gets convoluted to me. We take a team sport and we individualize people as if they playing one-on-one. And I get what you're saying, but my thing is it's a lot to go into it. Using your talent to fit what it needs to be done has a whole lot to do with it as well.
Right.
Because my thing is, if you move Draymond to another team, not the same person.
Good point. I don't think Steph is either.
Right.
We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Three-point conversion, Kevin Herter with the Atlanta Hawks.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the Real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kent Bazemore from the Atlanta Hawks. You're now listening to 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, or the heated 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. That's how we do. It's playoff time, baby. All right. Speaking of playoffs, it is the national championship game coming up. But before we get into that, got to tap into this. Justin Fields, UGA, playing behind Jake Fromm, had a chance. I think he committed to Penn State, right?
Yeah.
And then decided not to go, went to Georgia. Now, Fromm has played about 85% of the snaps. 90. And Fields come in just to run the ball.
BGPs.
Right. Let me see if I come up with another one. And no, just but I'm just saying, like, it didn't go well. A lot of fans were outraged here, thought that he should be getting more playing time. We don't know, but I have a feeling that I don't think he really got a chance to compete.
In practice or?
In practice.
So this is my thing. The quarterback for Penn State.
McSorley.
Was he really go play in front of McSorley? It's
possible.
It's possible.
Because McSorley is like on the small side. He's like 5'11".
But this is and they also played. Well, I ain't gonna say.
And we've seen that movie as far as how McSorley plays. So
right, but McSorley had shown that he was probably the best player on the field at times during big games. We know he's a senior, so he probably would have gotten more pivotal playing time behind this senior and saying, this is your team next year. But going to Georgia, Fromm was a sophomore. He was a sophomore.
Right.
When you weigh the options, it's like, I'm going to sit behind a senior or I'm going to try to beat this sophomore out.
But you trying to beat a sophomore out that just took you to the national championship game and showed that he balled out in that game.
This is, of course, I don't know Justin Fields, but I think either he thought or he was convinced that Fromm was a mark, that he could easily beat him.
You took it back to old school, didn't you? You thought he was a straight up mark?
Yeah.
It's the LA talk.
Straight up mark. No, but
you been into the Ice Cube or something.
But no, you're right. But I'm glad he's transferring. Now he goes to Ohio State.
But I gotta ask you, do you feel that he shouldn't have felt like he could beat Fromm out? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, he probably did, but you gotta look. Somebody need to talk to him like, nephew. Ooh, I can't say that, but this guy played. You know what I'm saying? This guy played.
This guy.
But he played in the national championship, and
it was probably an uncle who told him that he could beat him.
All right, let me
want to stay in state.
Right.
Let me let you ask your question, but I'm gonna say this: there has been rumors that in his family they were split decision. His dad wanted him to go to Georgia, his mom didn't. Mm-hmm. So that in itself probably has caused a lot of ruckus and a lot of indecisions,
right?
As far as, and his sister go there and play softball.
Yeah.
So
right, and I knew about that. So I get it. But I'm just saying, it was just, and Fromm played his tail off, man. I felt like, and I know it's college, but I'm just saying, when I looked at the way Fromm played and you got there, why would you take the reins away from him?
I agree.
And that was my thing. So it's like, why don't you go anywhere else?
I agree.
And it might have also been that, like, they got to the national championship, they lost the game, so it might have been convinced that, oh well, if they had better quarterback play,
what was it?
And which I think I'm better,
but
then.
And that sounds like somebody's uncle telling him, his uncle telling him that, because
it is.
I would have told his uncle.
It has to be.
I would have told his uncle, well, are you going to put Justin Fields back there at cornerback or safety to make that play?
Because if the concern was, if it's about playing time, go somewhere. I'm sure there are plenty of schools to where you can be the starter right away. I don't think he would have been the starter at Penn State. He wasn't going to be the starter if he went to Ohio, if he committed to Ohio State initially. He could have been the guy at Michigan.
I mean, LSU.
Right.
He could have been at Michigan before Shea Patterson even thought about transferring
Michigan,
there.
LSU.
Louisville.
I mean, it was a lot of places where he could have gone.
Miami.
So now, quickly, so we can move to this game. Now he goes to Ohio State. Now, what's the kid's name?
Tate Martell.
Tate Martell is that
5'10", 5'11". I'm sorry.
Like
200 and
like Kyler Murray.
Yeah, maybe.
Kyler Murray was kind of rolling his eyes when he saw how, dude's measurements whatever.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I think he should win this. We don't know how good. I don't know. Maybe HO. I'm not HO, but
G.
No. Good Lord. LA. Maybe LA could let us know. I don't know. LA, let us know on the chat. I don't know how good this kid is, but now that he's transferring,
we got to wait on the appeal.
Yeah, we got to wait on the appeal, but I can't see him falling for the banana in the tailpipe twice.
Right.
And I think that Ohio State is like, we will let him start.
If he does win the appeal, and does not start, you could possibly say that there's some dysfunctional stuff going on in his family that's not giving him good advice.
Yeah.
Because clearly LSU needs a quarterback. Clearly Georgia Tech needs a quarterback right here at home. Clearly Auburn could use a quarterback. I don't understand why Oklahoma needs a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's going all the way to Ohio State.
You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of.
He had to be promised to.
It's something has to be up with it.
Has Haskins entered the draft yet?
No,
he's on the mock draft.
He's
in the top 10.
He said
he
he's
hasn't
doing
declared
it.
yet, though.
He's going to do it.
Yeah, he going to.
Because if he falls for the banana in the
he's going to be the
tailpipe,
first quarterback taken.
But if he falls for the banana in the tailpipe,
he going to the Giants.
Like my man, what's the quarterback that left? That's in San Diego. I think he's in Buffalo now.
Cardale Jones.
Cardale Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but anyhow, going to the championship game. I know we had a few minutes. What are the big? I shouldn't even say takeaways. What do you see being the X factor of this game, whether it's players or scheme?
Field goal kicking, special teams, identically defensive. They probably mirror each other. I think Clemson has a slightly better secondary. Clemson will throw the ball long. They will stretch the field. And I think both will try to stop the run game. But I think it's going to come to field goal kicking, special teams, and turnovers. Just the little small fundamentals of football, not turning the ball over, making sure you get field goals when you can't get touchdowns. I think all of that is going to play a big factor. Dabo Swinney, we talked about it off the record that he has become that big game coach guy.
And he don't get credit for it.
And he don't get enough credit for it. So you would have to think that is Dexter Lawrence playing? I mean,
no.
He's not playing. So you lose a big time tackle or DN. I think he plays DN. You losing a big time DN on that. Would they take a page out of Georgia book and try to hit Tua? Because that was a game plan.
Now, I'm going to go back to what we talked about off air. You talked about how everybody always wants to say that Alabama doesn't play no one.
Right.
When they play, maybe they're just better.
Right.
Like we talked about with Clemson. Is this the best team? I mean, you record-wise you can say yeah, but honestly, just looking at it from the eye test, is this the best team that Alabama is going will play and has faced
all
year.
Without a doubt.
So now with that, because you got a defense that's real good.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's defense is supposed to be good, but with a great coach and you have a quarterback that can throw that thing.
Right.
What does Clemson need to do to beat Alabama?
They gonna have to help. They have to try to get the run game established somehow to make sure they don't get into a one-dimensional situation, because Nick Saban is truly the genius of forcing teams to be one-dimensional. We go take away what you do best, and we go force you to do this and what we do best. So the run game, they have to try to create it, whether it's screens, short passes, trap plays, or whatever the case, counters. They going to have to get this run game sufficient enough to where Alabama just doesn't peel back and just come after the quarterback.
Right. And so basically you're saying they need to run tomato or tomato.
Mm-hmm.
They need to run him.
Yeah.
If we call him that, Etienne.
Yeah.
Etienne.
Exactly.
The tomato, that's what they need to do. They need to run him. And I think on the other end, I think Clemson – see, this is the thing about Dabo, because with Alabama usually when Tua gets hot early, it breaks the other team's spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But Dabo has played in these games a lot of – played 3 or 4 times.
Right.
And we've seen whether it was Jalen Hurts or whoever they scored, Dabo didn't sway. It wasn't like, oh, here we go.
Right.
Let's step up.
One thing we got to realize, Deshaun Watson threw for 400 yards against Bama twice. He did not have Kelly Bryant could not throw the ball as efficient. This guy, Trevor Lawrence, can throw the ball. So in throwing the ball, they have a situation where they probably can go to real short passes and throw the ball deep. If they use short passes to kind of get that running game established and move the chain, you may see Trevor Lawrence have his eye-opening game.
Yeah, and it might be.
So let's keep an eye on that.
All right, now shout out to LA in the chat. He says that Clemson needs Bobby Boucher to win.
Wow.
All right, man, we're going to take a quick break.
Boy, LA off the chain.
We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Gary Payton. Y'all listen to 3 Point Conversion Radio. It's the bomb.
What's going on, folks? It's LA and Eric from Brownstown, USA podcast on the 3 Point Conversion.
LA, these guys may have the smarts on a national level, but I think we can take them when it comes to the 216.
Man, stop it. You're on Garbage Watch. Anyway, check us out weekly for updates, news, stories, and opinions you can count on about football from the heartland of America, the Cleveland Browns.
Only on the 3 Point Conversion. Now let's throw it back to the Sports Lounge now!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cat Williams, and you are listening to 3 Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Now, we just came from the national championship in college, and we're moving to the start of the NFL. Playoffs. Man, great games. We're going to get right to them. We're going to break them down. You guys, so not necessarily your pick, but when we look at the Colts versus Texans game, Indianapolis Colts going against the Houston Texans, what stands out in this game as the the game breaker? Like what will determine this game?
Actually, it's to me. I think it's the in the trenches where you have one of the best offensive linemen now going up against one of the best defensive lines in the Texans. Who wins that battle is probably going to determine the game. You got J.J. Watt, who can possibly be comeback player of the year. Mm-hmm. Then you got Clowney on the other side, and then with you forcing them to go against the offensive line who was 30th last year and they 4th this year. Mm-hmm. The trenches is going to be what's important in this game, and who wins the battle up in the middle and in the trenches, I think will win this game, because you got Lamar Miller on one side, then you got Marlon Mack on the other side trying to establish some run. We don't even need to talk about the quarterbacks, because once they get time, they can beat you. But it's going to be in the trenches, to me, to determine this game.
If Lamar Miller somehow gets going, he has to do something.
But the thing about this is, I think this is where Will Fuller is missed tremendously.
Oh, definitely. And when he got hurt, that's what I said. I was like,
yeah, this is where
it hurts their offense, because now we know DeAndre is a beast, but you have no one to spread.
Exactly.
No one to stretch the field.
Nobody to stretch the field.
Yeah, it's like, and
it's like Demaryius Thomas, he's good, but that wasn't his job.
That wasn't his job.
And then think about it, with stretching the field. First of all, when we talk about Watson, Deshaun Watson can throw that rock, right? That's his specialty. He love to throw down the field. But also it created lanes for him to run. You know what I'm saying? Like safeties, you had a safety in the corner running with Fuller. You got probably two people eyeing Hopkins. Now you only have a spy, which you should be able to beat the spy, and he could get 15 to 20-yard runs at a time. You can't do that now, right, like you said. Now, Demaryius Thomas, he's been, he's helped them, but the offense is kind of stagnant since Fuller has been gone.
Yeah, you haven't seen explosive plays like you have before, because, you can pretty much count on he may have been, besides Tyreek Hill, probably one of the most explosive receivers that we've seen week in and week out.
Right.
When him and Deshaun Watson hooks up.
Right. So now I think that becomes a factor. But I think because they know each other, I know the fact that these are divisional rivalries, rivals, and they played each other. This is their third time playing. So now it's more of who wants it more. It's not just it's who wants it more, because I know what you're going to do. I know what to expect. Who wants it more? I think that's what it comes down to. And coaching also. You got a first-year head coach. Looks like he knows what he's doing. It seems like always backup quarterbacks are the best coaches.
Because they used to be watching.
Yeah, and they're always with the coach. But to me, I think that's where Houston lacks, because I'm not a believer in the head coach. I mean, I'm sorry, that's why they don't never get anywhere,
They're not playing the Bengals this time either.
Right. They played, 8 times in a row? So, but I think it's going to be a great game. We'll get into our picks with that. Seahawks, Cowboys.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to say this. Now, Cowboys defense is crazy, and they got to run a game. You think, and they're at home, so they have the formula to win. But these Seahawks, man, if the Seahawks start running the ball and Russell is not dropping back 45 times a game, I think Seahawks have a chance. Because, yes, the defense, the defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys are sick, right? But in order to get Russell, what gets Russell is pressure from the middle. If the tackles can't provide that pressure to where they're corralling him, they're pushing up, and then you got the edges coming in and kind of corralling him, you're playing right into Russell's game. I mean, that's what he does. Run around, spin around, and with players like Baldwin and what's the little, I can't think of the show. Lockett. With Lockett, they know how to play. They know how to run routes. They know how to adjust.
This is the thing. This is one of the keys. Chris Richard used to be the defensive coordinator of Seattle. He's very familiar with Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, I have a cheat sheet. I mean, I like what I like Seattle in this game, because I think Seattle, you just really don't know how to prepare for them with the three-headed monster that they have as far as running backs, and I think they all are healthy to play. Defensively, again, it's going to come down to the trenches as far as I'm concerned. This is going to be a chess match all day long. I think this is going to be a chess match. Chris Richard name has been floating around as far as probably getting interviews or whatever the case may be. He's done a wonderful job there in Dallas, probably getting Jalen Smith back to putting him in good spots to where he can really shine and getting back to where we thought he could be. And but Seattle was a dangerous team. So we got to kind of look for that. Zeke Elliott is definitely going to be key. If they shadow and go over the top and play Amari, that's going to force Cole Beasley and other receivers to kind of be open or whatever. So we'll see if Dak can compensate and try to get them the ball and get them in the position to where they can score a touchdown.
And before we move to the next game, I think it's more of Dak making that play more so of their running game. The running game will be that's what they do, but it's going to take a play from Dak, which he's capable of, but it can't be the other play where he fumbles. And, because we know Seattle, they go crazy off of turnovers. They score. So, and they don't turn the ball over themselves. So, like I said, I think there's going to be another close game. And then you got the Chargers versus the Baltimore Ravens. This is round 2.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, G?
Well, they just played each other 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, week 16.
So, what I've been hearing is that because of the Ravens' unique offense, that it was hard to prepare for any team to prepare for. But the Chargers just saw this offense and now may have a better idea of how to defend it. And on the other end, Phillip Rivers played his worst game of the season against the Ravens.
Yeah, cost me a playoff win too.
So he's expected to play better. So the advantage seems to lean towards the Chargers to go into Baltimore and win because they have a better team and they may be better prepared to face Lamar Jackson.
And then all you have to do, what they need to do is play the gaps. Don't play. I think that's what teams mess up when they play the Ravens. They're looking for the ball. We know in college when you're doing an option and everything, you just play your assignment. NFL, you looking for that ball. Who has the ball? Just play the lanes, play the gaps. If he pitches it, someone's going to be out there. If he has the ball, you're covering the lane. And I think with San Diego, on the offensive side, play action pass. Remember, that was Gordon's first game back. But when they do that play action pass, keep Baltimore off their heels, to where they don't know what's going on. Because once you become one-dimensional like they were that game, then Phillip Rivers is going to have his worst game because you're playing against a top-level defense. So, like I said, we're not really picking picks, but I think the advantage can go to the Chargers if they do play action and they learn how to – you got to make Lamar beat you in the pass, which I think he can, but, And then last but not least, the Bears and Eagles. A lot of people are saying the Eagles can win this game. Shout out to my man Holyfield. He was telling me today that the Eagles can win no matter what quarterback.
Look, stop believing in this hot hand of Nick Foles.
Thank you. Because the thing is,
like if you just going off of that, then that's not enough. There's nothing that anyone has said that makes you believe that the Eagles will win the game aside that Nick Foles is hot right now.
Because they don't have a running game like that, and we're the best running. The Bears are the best running defense in the league. So just for the simple fact that they don't have any. I can't see anything explosive about Eagles that scares me. Now, only thing I would be worried about is the coaching, because I think Nagy is a rookie. Well, I think he's a rookie at this, so he might get nervous. Where Peterson, like you said, they've taken that run before.
Well, the thing about it is, and I'm not so much talking about the hot hand, but the hot hand won them the Super Bowl last year. I mean, it wasn't just him. It was the ability to allow the playbook to open up and you can run pass option, to your point, G, short passes and playing in Chip Kelly's
But they had a better
run game
last year.
And I agree.
And then what they did was they shocked everybody by throwing the ball early, and it caught defense by surprise.
But how many people thought the Philly would make the playoffs in the last 3 weeks? Because they was basically out of the playoffs.
Well, they needed a lot of help.
Exactly.
Man, they got it right.
But they took care of their business as well.
They beat the Washington Redskins.
That was the last game of the season.
G was playing quarterback that game.
They got in.
That was my twin, Josh Johnson.
Oh, okay. Josh, I thought it was you. But I'm saying, and then the fact that, again, I know they have history and I know they have experience, but that Chicago defense has no holes in that defense at all.
And the thing about it is, it's playoff time. So to me, it's not necessarily about what a defense or what an offense can do. Is can you play your best game that day?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's really what it is.
It's really what all it boils down to.
But we talk about hot. The Bears have won the last 9 of the last 10 games. The game that they lost was that overtime game in New York where we had a backup quarterback that couldn't playing like he had butter on his hands. I'm just saying. So, but again, it's going to be some great matchups, great games. Make sure y'all watch them. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our Stop It Moments. We'll be right back.
AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
This is Leilani Mitchell from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now. You can tune in to this radio station on any smartphone or tablet. iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Nokia, Samsung, Windows phones, or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store. Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy from over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at TuneIn.com or your app store.
Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It's the 2018 Battlegrounds champion, Damian Adams, from The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Now, you can catch my show weekly on the 3-Point Conversion station on Spreaker Radio. But for right now, I'm doing what everybody else should be doing, and that's listening to Mr. Controversy and The Intellectual in the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We'd like to thank everyone who is listening right now, everyone who has supported us, who is supporting us, who keeps tabs on us, you know. We appreciate you. The 3-Point Conversion, not just the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, but just the 3-Point Conversion Company itself. We appreciate you. And I also want to give a special shout out to a special client that is in the chair right now getting his hair cut. My man, Dr. Todd James. What's going on, sir? We appreciate you, sir, for listening. You might not see us, but we see you. Thank you for keeping them smiles bright over there at Chapel Hill Family Dentistry. We appreciate you for listening to the show. And now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop, 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 stop. Stop it! Stop it, stop it.
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, H.O., it's on you, sir.
My stop it goes out to anybody who didn't vote Julio Jones on the first team. All pro.
Right.
Jesus. Are you
Stop
serious? 1,677 yards, 113 receptions, 8 touchdowns after just not even scoring the first 4 weeks of the season, and we don't get first team.
Yeah, that doesn't make
Stop it.
any sense.
Boy, stop.
Crazy. All right. My stop it moment is Mr. Darryl Strawberry. Came on, I'm just say one line, and that got to stop it for me. He came on and said that he's talking about players against smoking marijuana, and so they should stop it. And he said that marijuana is destroying lives. You need to stop smoking marijuana.
Stop it.
He would know.
Stop it.
Bruh, you don't need to say anything about stop it. Just say I don't even want to talk about that. Darryl Strawberry saying stop smoking marijuana.
Maybe he was saying what they need to start smoking is, and then, we fill in the blank.
You're wrong, man. All right, look, let's go wrap up Stop It segment. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back to give those NFL awards. We'll be right back.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
Attention, radio station listener. This might make you say, oh my god. Get this station and 1,500 live stations, plus a custom station you can create all in one. Right now. Download the free app now at iHeartRadio.com. Oh my god.
Whether it's quick hits, what's on my mind, the infamous Stop It segment, you got to be there every Saturday morning on the 3-Point Conversion station for the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge hosted by Mr. Controversy. Get him!
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. There's no need to ask everyone what they're doing because they better be watching these games this weekend. I know G is a superstar, so he probably going to be in somebody's NBA locker room. But other than that, everybody else watching games, we don't have that access like G. But anyway, it's time to give out these awards. And it's been a great season. And a great season, man. There's so much to debate. It's not runaway or anything. So first, we're going to start off with Defensive Rookie of the Year. G, who you have?
My Defensive Rookie of the Year is Darius Leonard of the Indianapolis Colts. He has been just a game changer of a pick for them, to where they've made the playoffs, and their identity has completely changed. They're known for years for not having a great defense or a great linebacking core, even when they had Freeney and Mathis.
Right.
As that good defensively, but he's come in and I think like there was one game to where he found out he didn't make the Pro Bowl. Like everyone was saying, oh, he wants to get like 40 tackles the next game.
Yeah, I remember that.
And,
he said
that's
he wanted to.
That's how intense
he said
plays.
he wanted to. Yeah. What do you have?
Yeah, I got Darius Leonard too, man. Obviously, I could have went with Derwin James, but coming from South Carolina State, you really didn't expect a lot from him. He had 7 sacks, 111 solo tackles, bro.
163 total.
You know, two interceptions,
2 fumble force. No, he had he had 1 fumble recovery and 2 fumble force.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he's runaway. Defensive player, Rookie of the Year.
I agree. I had Darius Leonard as well. I think that Chubbs didn't get a lot of players. I mean, people not talking about Chubbs or what he did in Denver, but I thought he played very well as a rookie. And then Denzel Ward, he played well. Like, I made a statement on it was on Facebook, I think, and I was talking about how the Cleveland, I still believe they could have gotten Saquon and Mayfield.
Right.
But it still worked out with getting Denzel Ward and even Chubb. So Chubb was another one too that did well, man, that played well. But as far as defensive rookie of the year, yeah, I'm going with Darius Leonard. Now, who's your offensive rookie of the year? Who you got?
Saquon Barkley.
Is that a?
Yeah, that should be unanimous.
Unanimous.
Some people are trying to sneak Mayfield into the narrative.
Yeah,
but
not even close.
No, just to see what he did. I think he was the third running back to crack 2,000 yards as a rookie. The other two were Eric Dickerson and LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right.
And he broke Reggie Bush's record for receptions by a rookie.
Right. No, it wasn't LaDainian. It was Edgerrin James.
Edgerrin James. Okay.
Who was a finalist for the Hall of Fame, by the way. But yeah, it's got to be. I mean, Mayfield, the fact that he broke the record of the rookie record, but as you stated, Saquon is in a record.
Like he broke records too. So
yeah, like 2,000. Like it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, he lived up to all of what he was doing.
And like I said, just think about if they would have been able to play with each other.
Yeah,
that'd have been scary.
Would Hugh still be there though?
No, he would have left. He still would have messed up.
Okay.
He would have left. So, Josh McDaniels talking about he'd love to take that job. Stop it. All right, so next award, Comeback Player of the Year.
It should be unanimous.
Who?
Andrew Luck.
I got J.J. Watt. Andrew Luck balled out. We know.
Look, before the season started, there was video of him throwing a Nerf football.
Yeah, Andrew Luck
could not
hold a ball.
Medicine football. But I'm saying though, J.J. Watt, you look at all of the injuries he's had the last 2 years. For him, he has 16 sacks and 7 forced fumbles.
Listen, I ain't arguing with you. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Right. I like J.J. Watt. For Indianapolis to, how many sacks did they have last year?
They allowed 56.
And this year?
18.
When you have time to throw the ball, it is unbelievable what kind of numbers you can put up.
And that's why I don't say I'm not mad at y'all.
What's his numbers?
39 touchdowns.
39. Ooh.
For Luck?
Yeah.
40 45, almost 4,600 yards, 39 touchdowns, 15 interceptions.
Still have a high interception.
I think both of them,
71.5
QBR. I think you go with both of them because, like I said, the 16 sacks to me doesn't do Watt justice because we know Watt's game is more than just sacks. The pressure he gets, the tackles for loss he gets, with 7 for his fumbles, and it's kind of hard.
Like he had a broken leg.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to come back from.
It's an offensive league.
We can't. I understand we can't give quarterbacks all the awards.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't mad at y'all.
No, I'm not mad at y'all.
And I said J.J. Watt earlier.
It was either or.
And I said possibly.
Right, you said that.
Possibly the comeback player of the
year.
But
no, you're right. I mean, it was either or. It was J.J. Watt.
I mean, that's why they vote
almost
for
flipping the coin. Yeah, so you're right. Coach of the year.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. I knew we was going to differentiate here. What'd you have?
I'm leaning towards Matt Nagy.
I was
thinking about. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about
Frank Wright.
No, he's another.
That's what I'm saying.
Lynn. I was thinking about Lynn.
Right.
But
you just can't go wrong with this.
But what Matt Nagy has done, this is not being biased either. The fact that the Bears was 5 no, for real. The Bears was 5-11 last year, and not just because of the win total, but the whole mindset. Now, Khalil Mack had a lot to do with that as well, but the whole mindset the Bears has played with, it's just different. It's a different mindset. But like you said, Frank Wright, who expected that?
Yeah, after Josh McDaniels moonwalked out of that situation.
He Billy Donovan his way out.
Exactly.
So Frank Wright, Andy Reid.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I mean, Sean McVay could possibly get some votes.
Yep, Sean McVay.
So I mean, it's definitely Lynn.
Yeah.
So it could go either
Harbaugh.
way.
I think Harbaugh with the move he made by putting Lamar Jackson in. I think that move.
That was probably more Flacco getting hurt.
But Lamar hadn't done enough.
Well, he kept him in once he got back.
That's what I'm saying. He hadn't done enough.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah,
and he kept him in. Was like, I just feel the vibe with his team.
Right.
So, defensive player of the year. That should be easy.
Aaron Donald.
Khalil Mack. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's Aaron Donald by far. That dude. But I always say this. It's harder to double team a defensive tackle because you can't double team him at the start of the snap. Because the center is snapping the ball, he's shooting through that gap. If he's that quick, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? And then, so that's why I always thought that he would win Defensive Player of the Year. Khalil Mack, they got 3 people lined up ready to take him from the start.
Yeah, but see, my thing is I can argue Mack, though, because it's what he has done for the team itself, the whole defense. He allows this secondary to really be a top secondary.
Right.
So the effect that he has to me may be because think about this, right? Think about this. You coming into the game, you got to find 52. You know what Darnold is, right? Eddie Jackson has had an all-pro year. Fuller has a great year. Because these quarterbacks are looking for 52, they have to get the ball out quick. They have made this Chicago secondary probably be one of the most underrated secondaries. And we've seen the Rams secondary get toasted with butter the whole season. Right. So, to me, I can argue Mack. But I do understand you in the middle with Aaron Donald. He get 19 and a half?
20.
20. Oh, 20.
From a defensive tackle position.
From a different, that's
like
amazing.
8 or 9 is good.
Yeah.
He got 20 and a half.
He got 20 and a half. That's crazy.
Right.
I hate this category, the Offensive Player of the Year, because 9.8 times out of 10, offensive players are going to win MVP. But the offensive player is usually different from the MVP. I hate this, but I'm going to play along with the game. Who's your Offensive Player of the Year?
I got Patrick
Mahomes.
I got Drew Brees. Just because, like I said, I'm playing the game. The MVP is going to be different. them times when Brett Favre won, I don't think he was the offensive player of the year. Like Barry Sanders would win offensive player of the year, then the MVP would be Brett Favre, which is stupid to me. But I'm playing the game, so that's why I picked Drew Brees.
If I had to pick somebody different, I would pick Todd Gurley.
I feel like it happened last year too.
Like that?
Yeah.
Where the offensive player of the year was
yeah.
When it Todd Gurley?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brady won MVP.
Right.
That's how they do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm playing the game. So I have Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I have Drew Brees.
But Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns.
Right.
That's what I say.
He should win both awards, huh?
Right,
So
exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's your MVP, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exec of the year. We'll leave it at that.
Chris Ballard.
Who's the GM for the Bears?
Good Lord.
You owe him some money or something?
Trading for Khalil Mack changed everything for him, man.
Yeah.
I understand drafting Quentin Nelson and Darius Leonard changed everything for the Colts, but
because
trading for Khalil Mack.
The Khalil Mack.
How about John Gruden just wanted to get rid of him?
But no, the fact that Khalil Mack.
No, I'm shooting.
Khalil Mack, Nagy, and then I don't think many people would have got Gabriel. But looking at Gabriel and what he's done for the Bears.
Trey Burton.
I don't know about that. Trey Burton disappointed me.
I don't know why.
He ain't done anything. 40-something catches. Most of them be like the shovel passes. The 3 touchdowns he has, 3 touchdowns are the shovel passes. No, I'm saying he has 6, but 3 of those are the little shovel passes. Like,
I mean, he don't call his plays. I mean, I think he helped. I mean, 6 touchdowns, that's reliable. He got more than Austin Hooper.
All right, we're going to take a quick call before we go. Caller?
Hello, what's going on, y'all? This is Ab.
What's happening?
Yeah, just want to talk about those end of season awards. When y'all say Aaron Donald is clearly the defensive player of the year, come on, guys.
I listen. I said I can argue for Khalil Mack, and I gave my reasons.
Okay, Khalil Mack. Come on, guys. You got to give it to Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack single-handedly, and I don't want to say single-handedly and not give all of the rest of the Bears defenders credit. They all played great. They had a great season. But putting Khalil Mack in the middle of that defense single-handedly changed the whole outlook of the NFC North. Not the Bears, not the Bears defense, the whole NFC North. Before they got Khalil Mack, everybody had a little Minnesota scribbled into that NFC North. And Minnesota might be in the Super Bowl. Minnesota is no more. It's the Bears defense with the quarterback in his second year that's playing all right. When the Bears win, the Bears do it off of defense. They put Khalil Mack right in the middle of that defense, and that changed the whole scope of the division and the conference. But he's the defensive player of the year. All right, guys.
Thanks, Ab. I'll say this, though. The Bears were a top 8 defense. They were in the top 8 last year. But he's right. I still give it to Aaron Donald because of what he's done, but Khalil Mack has meant more for the defense. But just defensive player of the year, player means stat-wise, and your production has got to go to Aaron Donald. And I'm a Bears fan. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Appreciate the call, Ab. We will be right back with Ask a Doc with Dr. Donald Fowler. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3 Point Conversion Radio.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports,
I don't believe it! Oh, it's a touchdown!
entertainment,
Are you not entertained?
and other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the Real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
What's up? This is Anthony Hamilton, and you're listening to the 3 Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And the segment, Ask a Doc. This is where we have our friend, Dr. Donald Fowler III, who is a big Duke Blue Devil fan.
There you go. My man.
Sir.
How you think you got in here?
How you doing today, man?
Hey, good. Good to be back in the studio.
Good. Look, we got so much to talk about, and people listening, this is where fantasy is over with now, but still you want to know about the injuries and what type of effect it will have on these players, whether it's whatever sport it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I first want to start off with LeBron James. It's a strain growing.
Mm-hmm.
We know how that could be lingering. They're saying he should be back next week. I think he's been out, 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
How long will it take for him to get back to 100%?
Yeah, and like you said, groins, almost kind of like hamstrings, are tough to deal with. They said yesterday they're kind of evaluating him day to day, and he's out at least another week, continuing treatment. So I know they're doing kind of the stim and massage and ultrasound and all that kind of stuff, trying to get the inflammation down, and then you kind of have to be careful, kind of rehabbing, not to overdo it and re-aggravate it, like you said. So, I mean, truly it might be I'd say 4 to 6 weeks before he's really 100%, assuming that they're smart about how they're rehabbing him. Now, I don't think he'll be out that long. They'll get him back sooner, but they still got to be careful because, a groin, certainly something that can come back and bite you again later.
So he's trying to play, they're making him to be hero now. Yeah. He's been what Brian always is. And no, I'm just saying he's always the type, like, I'm going to play through this because my team needs me. So.
And I'm assuming also it's kind of the groin where we're talking about the adductor muscles going down the leg. If sometimes they say groin, it's more like the abdominal sports hernia thing. That can be even more serious and surgical. I don't think it's that. Otherwise, they probably would have already been talking about it. But that's always something to keep an eye on, too. So.
And then he does want to be the I'm hurt and look what I did. I got to the – but anyway, go ahead, man. I'm just playing LeBron.
Hey, Doc, my fellow Duke fan.
And alum.
And there you go. And I almost want to follow this up with a Chris Paul talk, but I'm gonna stay with the college football, and that's about 2 assists this coming up. But it was close. I was about to switch that thing out. But listen, obviously the championship game is Monday. Mm-hmm. Not too much worry with Tua against Oklahoma, but this probably is going to be a defense that he's going to have to be prepared for. They probably going to blitz, and they're probably going to take a lot of what Georgia did to hit him and things of that nature. With his ankle not being fully 100%, how do you think his ankle and his play will hold up playing against a defense like Clemson?
Yeah, so obviously I think I'm really excited to finally see maybe two teams that are actually going to give us a good game.
Right.
But Alabama came out, they kind of confirmed what I think most people thought. He didn't have a fracture. It was a syndesmotic kind of ligament injury, or kind of like a high ankle sprain, where they essentially put very thick sutures across the two bones above the ankle just to reinforce it. So I think with a little more time, I mean, he looked pretty good in the semifinal game. I think mobility-wise he's going to be all right. But, yeah, certainly Clemson's defense, even minus one of their D linemen, is still going to be a much bigger test for them. So, again, they might try to get some shorter routes going initially, try to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker.
But so with that being said, sometimes, we see him on the run, running for first downs or whatever, even throwing on the run. Mm-hmm. How does throwing on the run affect his accuracy, because he's known for being an accurate passer?
Yeah, no, I think it's a valid point. Again, at this point, he's I think about a month removed from his surgery, almost going into the championship game. So I think he's honestly, if he's not 100%, he's 90 to 95%.
Okay.
So I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference in his game and his performance.
Okay.
So,
all right, and once again, we're here live with Dr. Donald Fowler III, and who's an orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. Now, we talked about the big games. I think the biggest injury so far in the playoffs right now is a Nick Foles injury, even though he says he's playing and the Eagles have backed him up. But because of his ribs, I think they're bruised. And a big game like this, I don't know if he's going to wear a flap jacket or not, but is this the type of injury that could get worse, or would it be painful? And then if that's the case, if it's just painful, I mean, is it one of those things he's just going to press through as far as when he's throwing and getting hit?
Yeah, so like you said, whether they're bruised ribs, cracked ribs, broken ribs, however you want to say it, it's very painful. It's one of the more painful injuries. He can't really make it worse by playing. Certainly can make the pain worse if he gets hit. My guess is he will have some form of protective flak jacket, even if it's kind of a smaller one, to help that area. But it is gonna, I think, limit him a little bit. But again, there's only so much you can do. They might sometimes, a lot of times, what they'll do, they'll inject kind of a local anesthetic into that rib area before the game, just to try to mediate the pain a little bit better.
Can they do that? Isn't that illegal? I'm just kidding. No, but if they shoot him up,
I'm not talking about pumping cortisone in your knee when you got an ACL tear.
I'm just trying to get to where he don't play.
Yeah.
But no, but if they shoot him up, will that affect him throwing the ball? Because I know he can't feel anything, but will that stiffen him up?
I don't think it will affect his throwing mechanics at all. If anything, I think it will make him a little bit more comfortable mobility-wise when he's out there moving around. So we'll just have to see. My Redskins did what they could to help you guys out, but that was about it. So let's put in a hit on him.
Right. Appreciate that.
Oh, man. Doc, Chicago, playing Philly, obviously. It's funny, Nick Foles, now we're talking about Eddie Jackson, limited in practice, yesterday. We got an ankle sprain. This is a big game. He's been a big part of this. Mm-hmm. Up the middle is like baseball. You're strong up the middle, you got a chance to have a strong defense. And so he's the back guy at that middle. Even if he plays, do you think he's on a snap count to where he doesn't really play a lot, or you think they minimize his time, be it that it's an ankle sprain and he has to kind of cover a lot of area?
Yeah, I expect he's going to be out there from what I've seen on the reports and been upgraded a little bit the last day or two, but I think it's going to be situational. I think they're going to put him out there and see how mobile he is, and if he's handling things well, doesn't look like he's really lost a step so much, they'll keep him out there. But if he looks limited, then like you said, I think they might only have him in on certain packages.
Right.
So,
and real quick, Doc, when you think that Ben, and this is his first playoff game, don't you think that his adrenaline will keep him going for a certain amount? And then is it because I think, isn't it like the first few plays, the adrenaline will be this first time out there, but then after that, that's when stuff will settle down, right?
Yeah, honestly, I could even see him being okay into the first half. I think it's really more at halftime when you sit and you got like a full 20 minutes in between. That's the danger zone kind of time where things can really stiffen up and get more sore. So they might have him still actually doing stuff kind of behind closed doors during halftime, just so he doesn't stop moving around.
Okay, and real quick, I know we're about to do our picks, but I want you to give your picks. You know what? Never mind. I want you to stay with us this next topic, segment. Okay? Next segment when we talk about that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Keep it locked.
What's up, man? It's Metal World P. Shout out to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Radio.
Tune in. Now. You can tune in to this radio station on any smartphone or tablet. iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Nokia, Samsung, Windows phones, or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store. Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy from over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at TuneIn.com or your app store.
Hey, what's going on? It's your man Terrell Thomas. We out here right now. Big up, shout out to the 3-Point Conversion.
right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Shout out to my man Rick. Appreciate you, sir. All right, so 5 big games. Like I said, a lot NBA, hockey, all of that. But we're going to focus in on the 4 playoff games in the NFL and the college game. Quickly, though, H.O., I want your nosy neighbor watch.
Well, I think I'm going to go with and this is probably going to be a nosy neighbor that's probably going to go over through the offseason, because I think if Nick Foles, I know we talked about hot hands, but they seem to play a lot better when he's in the game, because it seems like it's more of a team effort. It seems like it's like a Boston Celtic effect. When you take Kyrie out, I'm the best team. You put Kyrie in, he's the best player on the floor. So with Nick Foles in, he's like they are a better team. If he wins this game and plays well, I wonder what team is going to come after him and how Philadelphia will handle this offseason, seeing that Wentz has been hurt the last couple of years.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny because he won a Super Bowl, then he came back in the beginning of the season and stunk it up.
Yep.
And now it's like they're feeling him. Now, he hasn't played great. People act like he's played great. He hasn't played great. I think he had like 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But he's played well enough to where they believe in him. So I agree. My nosy neighbor watch, we're cooking. We got the food ready, and we're all looking. We moved the couches up to the blinds. I want to see what Dak does, because you had a lot of when you came in, even though I don't agree with it, but you had a lot of comparisons to Russell Wilson, just because you're not a run type first, even though you have the ability to run.
Right.
And when he came in, he could make that throw. He was exciting. Now you've taken a step back. Is it going to be because of you that the Dallas Cowboys lose, or is it going to be because of you that they win? And I want to see that, and that's why I'm peeking through the blinds.
Yeah.
You know what? I done raised the blinds up. I done pulled that string. The blinds are. We out there. We done got on the porch now. We just looking with our binoculars. So that's my nosy neighbor watch. Yeah. All right. So let's get to these picks. We're gonna have Dr. Fowler join us. We'll let our guests go first. We have the college game, the national championship, Alabama, Clemson. Who do you have?
Who do I want or who do I have?
Who do you have?
Honestly, I'm an ACC guy. I'm going to go against the grain and go Clemson. I think they can compete. Obviously, on paper, most people are going to have Alabama. I think they're 4.5-point favorites, but I'm going to go with the upset. Go Clemson.
G, who you got, G?
I'm taking Alabama. I mean, I feel like you got to beat them. Pretty much. I mean, I have to see someone actually beat Alabama before I believe that Alabama is going to lose a game. Like, I have to see it happen. I mean, I know they lost a game last year, right, but with this team, I haven't seen. I saw Georgia push them, but Georgia they blew it. So I think because Alabama still believed they were still in the game, I got to see to where Alabama's completely out of the game before I even think Clemson's going to win.
I'm taking Alabama to win the game, but I'm taking the 4.5 for Clemson. So, so I'm trying to cover for people who listening who share the excitement of the online fruit cupping.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
And whatever the case may be, but I think this comes down to Tua having some experience in this game, and Trevor Lawrence is a freshman not having a lot of experience. And if they don't get that run game going to force Alabama to keep them out of a one-dimensional situation, it's going to be a long day for Clemson. So I think that they definitely have to get that run game going some way, somehow. You have to get some significant yards on the run game, because one of the biggest threats is stretching that field, which is one of the weakest part of Alabama's defense.
I have Alabama. I have Clemson covering the spread also.
There you go.
But I have Alabama winning. And basically, I'm not even going to echo what you said. It's based like you said, experience. But I think this is Lawrence's coming out party, I think people will be shocked. Not shocked, but it's like, wow, because you really don't see Clemson play a lot, for the national audience, all over. You don't see him.
Right.
So to see him play, I think people are going to be like, wow, this kid has guts. And to see him being back in a corner and come out swinging, I think he's going to have the type. I don't know if he's going to run like that, but I think he's going to have that Deshaun Watson type of game where it's like, okay, this man has he's here.
Yeah.
So I have Clemson.
And to your point, think about this. If he has a coming out party, how does that fuel Justin Fields knowing that he was a freshman in the same class, seeing this guy being able to perform?
What?
And I'm switching schools. I mean, just something to think about, though.
So basically, when they're watching the game, everybody gonna be looking at the uncle like.
That's crazy.
So now the
NFL.
quickly, let's go to NFL. Colts, Texans.
Yeah, I'm going Texans, home team. I think they're more balanced on both sides of the ball. Certainly, we were talking about Luck earlier, but I wouldn't sleep on Hopkins and Watson, and then obviously Watson, Clowney, and everyone else on the defensive side. I like the Texans in this game.
Darius Leonard can't tackle everyone, so I'm picking the Texans.
Wow, y'all going with the Texans? I think it's gonna be an upset. I'm going with the Colts. I just like the experience. I like Frank Reich being the underdog in this situation. I'm not a big believer in Bill O'Brien in situations like this. I think the offensive line holds up because 16 sacks for the season, and Houston, Texas it's kind of neutralizes what they actually do well is sack the quarterback. So I'm going Colts in this one.
This is tough for me. Whoever had the ball last, I think that's going to be
a cheat way out. That's a cheat way out. It's tough.
Only reason why, it's just I think the Colts just have. It's crazy for me to say this. I think he has more intangibles, Luck does, than Watson. I know Watson runs the ball and everything, but Luck just has that flair of the moment. Watson is like that too, but I just think because, remember, we've seen this before when Luck was playing against when they played against them like 2 or 3 years ago, and remember they were down by 19 or 18, and they came back, or even 21, I think, something like that.
Playing the Chiefs.
No, they were playing the Texans. Texans up by 18. Also, it was the Texans. They were up by like 18 points in the playoffs in Texas, and they came back. I was just watching it the other day, and they came back to win. So I just think he has that type of magic, and like you said, Bill O'Brien. So I don't believe in him. Dallas Cowboys and Seattle Seahawks. You know what, Dr. Fowler? I'm going to give it up to G.
Why would I pick the Seahawks?
I was just wondering if you're going to do it. Who you?
I'm going Seahawks. Russ Wilson. I'm an NFC East guy. I've watched a lot of the Cowboys. They show flashes, but they're not consistent. I think the Seahawks have been on fire the last half of the season. I like Seattle.
I'm going with Seattle as well. This is pretty much like, do you trust Jason Garrett in this situation? I'm not sure.
I don't even trust Jason Garrett.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going with the Pete Carroll experience along with Russell Wilson, at least going to the Super Bowl twice. So I got the experience in Seattle.
Yeah, I have Seattle also. I just think that Russell Wilson has help now with the running game. It kind of reminds you of how it used to be with the old days, Marshawn and the Legion of Boom. Defense is playing well. You got Pete Carroll chewing that gum real hard and walking up and down the field, running and stuff. So when you see that, you know that they're back. And I just feel like I don't believe in Dak. I believed in Dak the whole year. And now all of a sudden I don't believe in him. And Jason Garrett. So and then who you got for the Baltimore Chargers game?
Ooh.
I'm going Chargers. Kind of, we were talking about experience. I like Lamar Jackson, but rookie, kind of, even though they're home, Chargers have been pretty solid all year. I like Los Angeles.
I think the Chargers will be better prepared. like I said before, they'll be better prepared for Baltimore this time around. So I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers as well. Like G said, you got film. They probably didn't put all of their stuff out, so Baltimore has to adjust to them. And I think Rivers has a better game. Wish he would have had a better game in Week 16.
Yeah. just watch this. It comes down to coaching. Will Anthony Lynn, being a rookie in the playoffs, will he be able to make the proper adjustments, or the tough calls? It comes down to that. But I think Rivers shine. I think it comes down to the last drive. I think Rivers has the ball, and I think he's going to win the game.
Right.
Just as long as they don't leave it up to the kicker. And then the Bears-Eagles. We all had the Bears, right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I don't think that one's going to be close, to be honest. I think Bears roll.
Take that, Holyfield. What you got?
If Bears can score some points, it's not even really like, the defense has to do this.
Thank you.
The Bears have to score points. They score points, they win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears. I said a couple of weeks ago that they're my sleeper team because I saw this coming. I saw that, things are shaping up to be where they almost look like the Super Bowl winning Baltimore Ravens, where they defense just shuts everybody down. We're not asking the quarterback to win the game. We just going to score a couple of points, maybe 17, and we go shut everybody else out. So
then the fact that Trubisky's intangibles of running the ball, of extending plays, I think that becomes a factor. So I have the Bears. I think I don't want anyone to get injured, but as far as hurt, that's what football is about. I think Nick Foles gets hurt. I don't know if he gets knocked out of the game, but the fact that you have Hicks coming up that middle and that big body following you, just even if it's not a sack,
right?
So and if you're doing quick passing plays, that takes the game plan equals what they want to do, and if they do that, then they're not playing their regular scheme.
I think one thing that people may not realize is because of how good the defense is, it's going to force Philadelphia to punt.
Right.
And with Tariq Cohen on special teams returning kicks, it's going to allow them to really put themselves in a great position and getting his hands on the football a whole lot more than you really probably want to. And I think that's going to play a key also.
Right. All right. It's time for Over and Under. We're going to pass it on to G.
You know how you just have that good feeling for a pick?
Do I feel lucky?
Yeah, that's this segment. It's time for Over Under with The Intellectual and Mr. Controversy, only on the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, so this is the wild card weekend edition of Over Under. But the first thing we'll start with is something that it involves a team that did not make the playoffs, but they did get a lot of attention, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, and all that's transpired this week, and with Antonio Brown's appearance on The Masked Singer, where do you think Antonio Brown will play next season? The four biggest odds are still the Steelers, the 49ers, the Colts, or the Jets.
I say the Steelers, 21 million cap hit. That's a lot.
I say the Steelers also. It'd be, but it's Steelers to send him to the Jets. We saw what happened to Santonio Holmes, but they said that was horrible.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot.
I got Dr. Paulo. Who you think?
I think we'll stay in the Steelers. I think it'd be great to see him in San Francisco, but
and then too, it's drama. It's like that relationship with your husband and wife. They crazy, but they love each other. We still together. That's the Steelers. Don't be surprised to see my man back to
Bell.
That's how they are, man. They just been covering up with winning. That's it. So go ahead, G.
All right. So the next one is who will have the most rushing yards. Who's playing this weekend? Ezekiel Elliott, Chris Carson, or Melvin Gordon?
Melvin Gordon, I know that.
I'm gonna say Chris Carson.
I'll say Ezekiel. I think Zeke gonna get about 121. Still might not win, but I think they're gonna feed him.
I'm going Carson. I think Seattle controls the game and runs the ball more. So,
all right, and the last one is who will have the most passing yards on this weekend, Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson?
Russell.
I don't know. The reason why I say that is because we've seen Russell Wilson, if, like Dr. Fowler says, if Carson, or you said also, if Carson's running that rock and they're running the ball, they can win the game with 112 passing yards easily. And one of them yards going to be that high rainbow Blake, what was the name? Blake, what was my man who played for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Jeff Blake.
Jeff Blake. You know how you throw that ball, you couldn't even see it on the screen. It go out the TV. And one of them passes is going to be 68 yards. That's it. So I say Dak because I think Dak's going to be behind.
Yeah, the pass ball. Yeah, that's good.
All right, so that'll do it for the wild card edition of Over and Under.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with What's on Our Minds. Keep it locked.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones, a Sucker Free Life double LC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-point conversion, with no team or no players off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
We are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. This next segment, What's on Our Mind, or What's on My Mind, is brought to you by Sucker Free Life LLC. Make sure you live your truth for the world to see, because everyone can be sucker free. Make sure you purchase your apparel today at facebook.com/Sucker Free Life LLC. All right, so what's on my mind? I was going to talk about something else and not just change my mind. I guess what was on my mind, I changed it. And so I want to talk about Russell Westbrook. Westbrook, it seems like right now he can't buy a bucket. I mean, you look at the whole season. He had a good game last night. He had 31 points, but you see a lot of 4 for 20 games, 3 for 19. He's shooting 42% from the field, which is a career low. Oh, second to his rookie season. And then he's shooting 62% from the free throw line. That's a career low. You think, why is a man with so much confidence shooting so badly? But at the same time, he's averaging a triple-double again. And Paul George is playing out his mind. Crazy. But it goes back to what H.O. was saying when he's talking about leadership. And sometimes you don't have to score a lot of points or be that guy to be that leader. And I think what Russell is doing is getting unrecognized, because you bring in Schroeder, and it's funny because, first of all, Russell has this, I guess it's a way about him where people think he's selfish, and that's all he think about his stats. But he's welcomed Schroeder in with open arms. Schroeder loved playing with Westbrook. Westbrook come up, give the ball up to Paul George. Like, he's been unselfish, still playing his game, but his leadership, you see him talking to the guys. What other superstar and player, top player in the league that's on a bench you see him while he's playing, he's playing, but he's on the bench at the time, standing up, cheering his players, standing up, almost walking on the court, cheering for his players, teaching while he's on the bench, cheering Russell Westbrook. So we got to stop all of this. He's selfish, he's this and he's that. Just watch him play and watch him. He's different, and I like that. It's uncommon right now in this type of league because he's not the type that shake hands with everybody after the game. He's a competitor, and I think right now, watch him, top 5 player, and that's what's on my mind.
That's a good one. I like Russ too. Very competitive. Matter of fact, that's probably, along with the mid-range jump shot, that's probably what's missing in the NBA a lot. Being competitive instead of being friends all the time or whatever. But all right, what's on my mind is I'm gonna kind of tie this in with worldly stuff and sports. This is sports entertainment, so let's go ahead and give it to you. I am disappointed in society right now. And this is stemming from watching and hearing, not watching, take that back, hearing and listening and reading about this R. Kelly situation. This society and this world preaches education, but you glorifying a guy who admits that he cannot read, write, or add. Known for child molestation. And then you make a documentary about this? This is what you want us to look at and see? To glorify this? 2, it's okay for cops to kill innocent black kids. And when somebody stands up for this, for the injustices, you change and switch his words and make it be about a flag. So now no one talks about it. It's mute. It's a muzzle on this situation. 3, we're talking about a guy who grabs women in the private area, brags about how he cheated taxes out of $9 million, and you vote for him for president. And now you and he's making the tax law. I have no idea what standard, what value, and what structure we are living in this society. Because with all these things that I just said, I'm confused, and more importantly, I'm disappointed. And that's what's on my mind.
All right. Now, if you hear this music, it means it's time to let you go. But before we let you go, we got a couple of shout outs. And if you stick around, you might be one of them. First of all, I want to thank God, Almighty God, for this platform, for keeping me alive, blessing me, holding me, taking me through the storm. Through all of that, giving me this platform to speak my mind, talk sports, make people upset, mad, want to give me the stop it button. I appreciate it, God, and hey,
thank you, Raphael.
He's the man. I want to shout out to Jerry Jones too for giving me that drop as well, for saying thank you, Raphael. That was Jerry Jones.
And you picked against him this weekend, right?
And I picked against him, whatever. So also want to thank Dr. Fowler for coming on. Appreciate you. Thank my engineer G, and of course my man H.O.
Hey man, appreciate the big man above for giving Give me the energy to come in and do Saturday morning. Thanks for Dr. Fowler coming in. G, who holds it down. Of course, Raphael, thanks again. Shout out to D Intellectual. Shout out to Rick. Shout out to everybody who listened in the chat room. And, of course, to continue this great sports entertainment, please check out Sports Roundtable on Wednesday night, 7 to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, and Happy New Year to everyone else. It is a great New Year. I thought it was going to be a new year, but still same results, not on the show. But anyway, thank my family and friends. Appreciate my beautiful wife, children, family, auntie, uncles, grandparents, cousins, sisters, brothers, nieces and nephew. Make sure you love family. Eat good. Watch these sports. Watch these games, big playoff games. And till then, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace.
Holla.
You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.